Hey, what's up, guys? This is Coach International Master Joel Banawa at your service, and welcome to our show. And thanks for joining us once again. And hopefully, you guys love and enjoy our lesson for today, again with special guest and lecturer, FIDA Master Jake Banawa. See you guys in a little bit for the lesson. Bye bye.
Last December, year 2018, the first American since Bobby Fischer competed in the World Chess Championship. Fabiano Caruana, his nickname Fabi, and the second highest chess player behind the current world chess champion Magnus Carlsen, fought and drew all 12 classical games. Unfortunately, Magnus swept Fabi in all 3 rapid tiebreak games, and he kept the title. Fast forward, this is the final match rapid game which happened last Sunday between Fabi and Magnus. This is Fabi's chance to avenge his painful defeat against Magnus in the previous World Chess Championship rapid tiebreak games. Before this game, Fabiano Caruana only needed at least a draw to win the rapid match against Magnus Carlsen, the GOAT, the greatest of all time during today's internet era. So, what is going on in this position? Why does the pair of bishops? The white knight on the side is controlling fewer squares, so it's bad. The white king looks like it's more exposed compared to its counterpart. White has fewer pawn islands. So what is a pawn island? A pawn island is a single pawn or group of pawns that are separated from other pawns by at least one file, according to one of Yasser Seirawan's book titled Play Winning Chess. So let's count the pawn islands. For white, it's just 1 and 2. For black, it's 1, 2, and 3. So white has fewer pawn islands, and it's better for the side to have fewer pawn islands, so it's easier to defend your pawns. And a former chess world champion from Cuba once stated that in endgame, whoever has the most pawn islands loses. Let's continue. Black has the lead in development. Its light-squared bishop is beautifully placed on the b7 to control this a8 to h1 diagonal. And if you're white, what would you do here? e6. When I was looking at this game, I was wondering, why would white sacrifice a pawn even though he has not completed his development? When I was watching this game live on YouTube, Magnus felt surprised when Fabi captured the pawn immediately after he pushed the e-pawn. But imagine playing against the best player on this planet, who needs to beat you to win the match. You may tell and ask yourself, pawn is a pawn. I will try to hold this position with my extra pawn. If I cannot keep it, then I'll just return the pawn. What can go wrong? Based on John Nunn's book, Understanding Chess Move by Move, quote, although you will rarely find it in textbooks, the first such principle of defense should be don't panic. Because if you don't follow this principle, then none of the other ones will do you any good. Even really dangerous looking attacks can often be countered, provided the defender keeps a cool head and makes the most of his chances. All too often, the defender panics and ruins his own position. Close quote. This is easy to say, but it's hard to do, especially when you're playing against the chess world champion and you have a time pressure, and it's a lot of things are going on, but at least you can try. Although black is a pawn up, the extra pawn in e6 becomes a target. White is planning to put its useless knight from h3 to g5 to pressure that e6 pawn. And also at the same time, after white lands his knight on g5, the white queen can go to c2 or d3 to create threats, mating threats on the h7 pawn. So knight g5. Notice that black's nice looking knight on d5, it's paralyzed because if it moves, then rook is going to pounce on that e6 pawn. Rook f6, defending the pawn on e6, and c2, threatening to take the pawn on h7 and deliver checkmate on h8. Okay, so here Fabi played rook g6. What if black plays g6? Oh, Fabi played rook g6, but what if black plays g6? Now you have this beautiful move. Bishop b2. Before, the bishop on c1 was not super active, but now it's slicing the board in half. Rook g6. Now, what should white do in this position? I will give you a few seconds to figure that out. All right, rook takes e6. So the idea is, if black takes the rook, then queen takes the pawn, king moves, then queen h8, checkmate. So here, Fabi took the rook, queen takes c6, knight takes c6, rook takes c6, bishop to b2. Now, white has this beautifully placed bishops on diagonal. Rook a e8, bishop d4, king h8, queen f5, planning to go to f7 to deliver checkmate on g7, bishop c8. Now, black is threatening to play rook e1. That's a discovered attack, surprise attack against the white queen. Okay, queen h5, c5, bishop takes c5, rook e5, queen f7, bishop h3, bishop f8, rook e1, rook takes e1, rook takes e1, king f2, rook f1, king e2, knight c3, king d3. And here, black gave up because white has a lot of threats, mating threats. Queen to g8, bishop takes g7, checkmate, queen takes g7, checkmate, even king takes c3, king takes knight, then white is just winning. Okay, after here, Fabi resigned, and by beating Fabiano in this game, Magnus earned $75,000. And you can see after the game, he did his famous shush. So he got a shush, and 75 grand. So what can we learn from this game? Pawn islands, or single pawns, or a group of pawns that are separated from other pawns by at least one file, the fewer pawn islands, the better. Second, when your opponent sacrifices something to you, do not panic. Breathe. Assess the position and use your calculation skills before making a decision. Once you accept that sacrifice, there will be no taking backs. The last one, figure out how to make your pieces work better. In this game, Magnus sacrificed his pawn to open the a1 to h8 diagonal for his dark squared bishop, and at the same time to create a target for his knight. All right, thank you guys for watching. We posted the Lichess link below so you can analyze this game. And do not forget to subscribe to Rising Phoenix Chess, and put a like if you like the video, share it to your friends, and make a comment on whatever you want to say about this video. All right, bye.
All right, guys, that was so awesome. Another victory for possibly one of the greatest player of all time, Magnus Carlsen. And please, if you like that video and you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends and help us bring in more subscribers. And we love you guys, and we're gonna keep doing it so you guys could keep learning, and hopefully you could apply the messages and the short lessons that we have on your games. Best of luck, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys, thank you.